Aaliyah Chavez. She was so big in overtime, dropped 15 points in overtime against South Carolina to help Oklahoma win.
Yeah, 15 of their 19, and we heard Megan McEwen talking about it. She can be a microwave, there's no doubt about it.
Tessa Johnson rejecting the screen. In trouble, and Sahara Williams scrapping on the floor for the basketball. Up ahead to Stewart. Too much. Oklahoma's going to keep the basketball. Oh, excuse me, South Carolina basketball. Reagan Beers back in the ballgame for Oklahoma.
Yeah, and you can't have her out for too long. I think this is strategic substitutions, giving her in and out. You see Ocott comes off the bench, getting back to the scorer's table as well.
In that first meeting, early on, Oklahoma made a specific effort to get Reagan Beers the basketball in the paint.
I think they've got to continue to make those specific efforts. If you don't have those transition threes that they like to take, she's got to get a touch. Continue to put pressure on the interior. And I think the timing of when she gets it is really important. She does her work early. You got to hit her on time. You got to hit her on target.
Let's see if they do that on the other end. Tessa Johnson with time here. Medina Ocott trying to post up on Beers. Ocott got to work her way back from underneath the basket, got her own board. Beers almost had it. Raven to the paint, elevating. Rebound by Beers.
That's really good defense. Playing in the two-man, forcing Raven Johnson to almost over-dribble into certain situations and make her play one-on-one.
Well, and Raven Johnson almost got it back. It's going to stay with Oklahoma.
Well, I like the idea from Dawn Staley, using Ocott to go right at Reagan Beers. Best way to attack her on the defensive end, but that is just terrific one-on-one defense. Does a good job of getting her hand on the basketball.
Oklahoma's offense gets a lot of attention, but their defense is one of the best that they've had since the 2015-16 season. Agatha McKeer is checked into the game. She passes up ahead to Joyce Edwards. Can't finish through the contact. McKeer. And a foul. It'll be Sooner basketball.
Dead ball possession right now. You got to find a way to get Reagan Beers a touch. And you got to give Medina Ocott credit right now. Her activity level is really good on the defensive end of the floor, but it's got to be multiple actions. You're not going to get it first pass in offense. South Carolina's too good defensively.
Oh, sorry, no foul called on that. Just a possession for Oklahoma. Tried to force the pass in traffic. Raven Johnson made him pay. McKeer.
Pace, they just do it in different ways. South Carolina averaging 20 points a ball game in the fast break. They like to get two-pointers. Oklahoma, on the other hand, like to get threes in their transition, averaging 16 points in the break as well.
Pace of this game, we are fine to run. Grab your track shoes, lace them up tight, ready to rock with these two teams. So far, it's been South Carolina up an advantage early, 12-4. Chris, what'd you hear on the Oklahoma sideline?
Well, you guys talk about South Carolina's pace. That's exactly what Oklahoma would like to do on the offensive end. Jenny Bronchek telling her team, we're not in the business of hesitation. We got to move. We got to keep the basketball moving and use our pace to our advantage.
We'll see if they can do that. Change of possession. They also do not have a paint touch for Reagan Beers yet. Tanaya Latson trying to hit Ocott on the roll. Here comes Raven Johnson. 5 seconds. Joyce Edwards. Ocott got the rebound. Turned right into a double team, and she traveled. That defense from Oklahoma showing up.
Yeah, it's really good defense. And Peyton Verhulst was on Ocott that possession. Couldn't keep her off the boards, but a great job of Oklahoma of swarming once she got it.
South Carolina now 0 for their last 5. But Oklahoma hasn't scored in over 2 minutes. And that's going to be an offensive foul.
I think the screen on Reagan Beers.
Yeah, that's Beers' first.
That's not how you want to get your fouls if you're Reagan Beers. You certainly want to give her an opportunity to battle down low, but not on an illegal screen.
Yeah, it is critical she stays out of foul trouble for Oklahoma. Reagan Beers taking it away from Latson. Peyton Verhulst will push. Taking the transition 3, rattles out. Beers coming in for the rebound. And there are her first points tonight.
And her first touch in the paint comes off of an offensive rebound. I love the way Reagan Beers defended and then got down the floor to get that O-board.
Medina Okot looking for a three. That's something they've added to her game.
Well, Dawn Staley said it's something that she's had. She just didn't find a comfort zone in it early.
Her 13th made three of the season for Medina Okot, a player that started basketball when she was 17 years old. Verhulst coming across the lane. Trying to work on Latson. Little fade away, leaves it short. Just off the fingertips of Joyce Edwards, and Keziah Lofton saved it for OU. Chavez looking for a triple.
Hey, that's what they want in transition. They want to push pace. They want to be able to knock it down from three. Aaliyah Chavez not showing any sign of nerves in her first Sweet 16 appearance.
Oh, of course not. A freshman who's averaging almost 19 points per game. Scramble on the forward possession arrow keeps us on this end with South Carolina.
I mean, it's so dangerous when you're a team like Oklahoma and can shoot the three in transition. Yes, you got to get matched up. There's a miscommunication defensively. There's nobody in the paint to be protecting. You got to find near man. You got to get out and defend the three.
Aaliyah Chavez was the #3 overall recruit in this class, the National Player of the Year coming out of high school. She won the McDonald's three-point contest. Reagan Beers taking a seat for Oklahoma. Okot's got the size advantage on Sahara Williams. Tessa Johnson. There it is.
That's not the one I'd be digging off of right there.
No.
Going to dig in the one-on-one matchup on the interior. You cannot leave Tessa Johnson.
She is 6th in the nation in three-point percentage. Chavez with a 2.
Nice cut.
Keziah Lofton cut into the basket, and Sahara Williams was the one to dump it to her. Maddie McDaniel's turn to operate for the Gamecocks. Eight seconds. Okot's gonna take it. Too much. Chavez looking, lobs it up to Verhulst, and turns it over. Raven!
Great one-on-one. Raven Johnson knew she had an advantage, didn't draw the defender, so she goes up and finishes. I think those are the threes in transition, the growth of Aaliyah Chavez. When they're a contested three, you don't have any rebounders down the floor, when you can get a ball reversal, when you start to sense the opponent's going on a run, that's going to be the growth edge for her.
8 seconds here for Maddie McDaniel. We got McKeer. Bounces out, Okot's got her back. Kaya Smith was just hustling Raven Johnson, standing there waiting. Chavez answers with a layup. You blink and Oklahoma can score.
That's right. That's right. And this is where you're going to see South Carolina. If they don't have it in transition, they're going to be real intentional about execution in the quarter court.
That's going to be an offensive foul against Medina Okot.
I think now's an opportunity to bring Reagan Beers back. Okot's out of the game. Dawn Staley left her in when Beers went to the bench. Maybe an opportunity to get her back in and take advantage.
And she's still sitting over there on the Oklahoma bench as Okot takes that seat with 1 foul. Reagan Beers also with 1 foul.
Yeah, time and score.
It's OU's last shot to take if they want it. Chavez steps back and it gets touched by South Carolina. Almost had the scoop. And South Carolina's got a 10-point lead after 10 minutes in the Sweets. Being National Freshman of the Year, she's got 7 points. And Brooklyn Stewart's going to throw it away. What have you liked on the South Carolina end so far?
They're just playing at the pace that they want to play at. When they have opportunities in transition, they're pushing it. When they don't, they're really forcing Oklahoma to defend. They're getting the best shot on the floor. Jenny Bronchek talked about those 50-50 balls. I feel like their activity has been really good, digging in, getting the hand on it. They just haven't been able to come away with it cleanly.
Reagan Beers and Peyton Verhulst will check into the game now. Beers with just 2 points, 1 shot attempt. She does have 3 rebounds. And Medina Okot not in the game for South Carolina. They've been playing that matchup a little bit. Zaya Van throws it away. Chavez tried to save it. A rematch from a game on January 22nd that went to overtime and saw Oklahoma into 3-game losing streak and beat the #2 team in the nation at the time, South Carolina.
Well, I think a situation right now where Oklahoma just needs to settle in. It seems like there's a little bit of nerve. Jenny Bronchek got on her team yesterday in practice because she didn't feel the sense of urgency from them. South Carolina, they've been here. They understand the moment. And Tanaya Latson stays hot.
Tanaya Latson is 3 for 4 to start this game. Sahara Williams can't get the bucket to go. Beers poked it away for a second. We got McKeer in the corner. 5 threes to start this game for South Carolina.
A South Carolina team that averages 6 a ball game.
We just started the second quarter.
Yes, again, missed opportunity right there to get Reagan Beers a touch. I think that's one of those moments where she's really got to demand it. In foul trouble, and right away, right on cue, Okot at the scorer's table.
Raven Johnson likes that side of the floor right now.
She's on a mission. She is on a mission. She understands the magnitude of a game like this, how to be locked in.
Beers got the touch in the paint. Second opportunity here, Zaya Van weaving. And Van fouled by Maddie McDaniel.
I mean, Raven Johnson from the beginning of the game has been locked in. She's been aggressive on the offensive end. She has dictated tempo, does a great job of attacking, not over penetrating. I love what she told us yesterday about the loss to Oklahoma in January. It reminded us of our standard. We cannot get complacent. You can't be so enthralled with what we've done that we take it for granted. We got to keep our good habits. It's contagious. And she said they felt disappointed in the locker room after that ball game. And boy, she's come out and set the tone.
Absolutely, a player that hit her 1,000th career point in their second round game in Columbia, but didn't want to talk about it. Was just locked in on the next one. She'll get a breather here. An All-American for the first time in her career. South Carolina on this side has hit its last 5 shots. Here's a turnover, though. Zaya Van transition 3. So Hera Williams almost had it. She's fouled by Medina Okot. That's her second. So Alicia Tornaby is now at the table to check in for South Carolina. Player that joined the team mid-year from France. Sahara Williams, watch out if she gets going. I feel like she's the heartbeat of this Oklahoma team.
She really is, and she's such a difference maker. She's a connector, averaging almost 14 points a ball game the last 7. They need to find a way to get her going.
But before the last meeting with South Carolina pregame, Jenny Bronchek sat down with Sahara Williams, and Sahara said, I feel like if we don't show up, if I don't show up, we're not good. And Jenny said, yeah, you're right. do you want a different role? And she said, absolutely not.
I mean, she is. She's the heartbeat of what they do, and she's so important on both ends of the floor.
Brooklyn Stewart with the save. Chavez stepping into the three. Tornabees on the glass. Raven Johnson was waiting to check in at the scorer's table. She was standing up directing Maddie McDaniel on what to run.
That's your senior leader right there. Nice pass.
Tornabees.
Great touch pass by Joyce Edwards.
Get in, Ollie. Get in, Ollie.
16 for Raven. Verhulst, fadeaway. She can be an elite scorer.
She can, and that's a tough shot. And you see for Oklahoma, every shot they're taking is a highly contested, tough shot. I like the change. Coming out of the timeout with a little three-quarter court pressure into the zone, giving a different look.
Nyletson back to Joyce Edwards. Raven Johnson had all day to stand there, left it a little bit short. Joyce got it back.
Gotta find a way to find a body in the zone.
Tornabees, very capable of making that three-point shot.
Oh, you gotta grab it, Z. Let's go.
She's hit 4 of them this season in her half a season. Remember, joined the program mid-year. Well, coverage of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship continues tomorrow with the Elite 8 at 2 p.m. Eastern on CBS. For more tournament game times, go to ncaa.com. I think both our alma maters are playing in the men's Elite 8.
That's right,
Purdue
they
and
are.
Tennessee. Not playing each other, obviously, but
Yeah, we might have some bragging rights on the
I don't think I'd be talking to
board
you.
there.
Tessa Johnson. Guy Smith on the glass.
You know, we heard Coach McGraw talk about this coming out of break, but you really got to work the defense. You got to get some passing. You got to get the ball moving side to side. Again, multiple touches, 2 people, but the ball never got reversed. South Carolina is an excellent defensive team. The quick shot and the shot that you want early is not going to be there, or very rarely going to be there.
When you reverse that basketball, what does it force the defense to do?
It just forces a shift, a slight shift. If you can reverse, if you can attack off of a reversal, force a rotation, get a higher percentage look, run multiple off-ball screening actions.
There's going to be a foul whistled down low. Tornabees had gone around, but she's going to be whistled for the foul for going around Beers, and that is her second. Remember, Medina Okad already has 2 fouls for South Carolina. Their starting post player. And so Miriam Dowda is going to check in for the Gamecocks.
And again, I think opportunities to get Beers touches. You know, Okad, who can really match her from a size and physicality standpoint. The first time these 2 teams met, Adele Tack played almost 11 minutes in that ball game, giving more size and physicality. She's not available. There you go. Couldn't deliver it.
Miriam Dowda had her covered up. Gamecocks shooting 50% from the field, shooting 60% from 3. And Latson is fouled. A first against Brooklyn Stewart of Oklahoma. It'll put Tanaya Latson at the free throw line.
We're gonna watch this replay and watch when Joyce Edwards, if we roll it right here, when Joyce Edwards catches the ball. See what happens. It's a collapse of the defense. 1, 2, 3. What happens then? You get no rotation on the backside. Tanaya Latson, that is terrific read on the cut, making herself available. But that's the gravity of a player like Joyce Edwards. She doesn't have to necessarily score the ball or shoot the ball, but the awareness of everybody on the floor with where she is and when she gets her touches.
You talk about that awareness. Joyce Edwards told us yesterday in the first meeting with Oklahoma, she said, we played as individuals. Now we play together, and that's a great example of that.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And understanding the connectedness that Dawn Staley likes to talk about as Peyton Verhulst gets a three.
Verhulst with 5 points for the Sooners. Latson down the lane, around 2 defenders. Tanaya Latson. This will stay with Oklahoma after the missed 3 from Reagan Beers.
Look at how aggressive Tanaya Latson is to the rim. I mean, this is vintage Tanaya Latson right here. The ability to break down defense one-on-one, a tough contest, goes over an outstretched arm. You know she's a player who can score the basketball, and now she's learned to find her spots.
Yeah, she's talked about shot selection, and that, you know, she was the main offensive weapon at Florida State, but now she's not getting as many shots. She's got to be smart about when she takes them.
And she's got to be efficient in the ones that she's getting.
She's shooting about 50% from the field, so there you go.
Pretty efficient.
Yeah. Foul was whistled against Joyce Edwards, her first, and Sahara Williams at the free throw line for Oklahoma. South Carolina controlled this game from the start. They used a 10-0 run to take an advantage in the first quarter. Haven't looked back. McKeer back to Latson. Uh-oh. The old 4-point play.
And that was such good defense until the last.